Chapter 37. We continue as we see a flashback of Tenjiku in high school. One of her teachers asks her, has she thought about what she wants to be in the future? The young Tenjiku looks all excited and happy as she says, "Of course, I want to be a teacher." Now back to the present. We see Tenjiku in her class. She greets everyone and says, "I know you've been through a lot lately, but let's switch things up and keep working hard." As she writes on the blackboard and turns around to the students, she tells them that the first period is Japanese. She tells them to open their textbook to page 82, but she sees that nobody actually cares and they all are just talking to each other. They treat Tenjiku like she's air and gossip about Tsubaki and the whole media situation. The students continue and say, I wrote a little story about Tsubaki and it got really popular and I was so scared. I heard that the teacher has been monitoring social media since the incident, so wouldn't it be dangerous if they found out? It's creepy that they're monitoring the students in the first place. As Tenjiku hears this, she thinks that she always wanted to be a teacher since she was a student. To her, teachers were respected mentors, dependable, always ready to help, and shining heroes of justice. Now we see her taking attendance and thinking that Tsukishita is late again. As she does this, she recalls the MC asking her if she thinks that being a teacher means something like a hero of justice. She recalls this and questions herself what exactly is a teacher. Now outside the school, we see a girl look at the horde of reporters and get worried. She climbs over the gate as she says that the reporters make it hard to get in through the main gate. As this girl jumps over the fence, she sees that there's another girl right there. They both crash into each other and drop all their things. We see that the other girl is Nagisa. As she's on the floor, she asks what the hell's wrong with the other girl. The other girl gets worried as she calls Nagisa Tsubaki's groupie. Nagisa is about to say something, but suddenly notices something on the ground. She sees a stack of cash in an envelope and gets shocked. The other girl frantically apologizes to Nagisa and tells her that she'll buy her pancakes next time, but Nagisa tells her that she doesn't want it. The other girl gets serious and says, "But you're Nagisa, aren't you? If people find out that I hurt the prince of the ballet team, they'll be very angry with me." The girl suddenly pulls out some cash. Seeing this confuses Nagisa. Nagisa gets pissed and tells the girl that she told her that she doesn't need it. Hearing this surprises the girl. The girl replies and says, "You don't? Money is important, you know?" The girl continues and says that she thought Nagisa would like it because money is power. Nagisa replies and says that she's not interested. Suddenly, that girl asks her, "Then why were you hanging out with Tsubaki?" Nagisa continues and asks the girl, "What about you? I don't know what class you're from. Why do you have all that money?" Now we see that this girl's name is Tsukishita Hitomi. We see Tenjiku looking concerned as she looks at Hitomi's attendance card and thinks that she's been frequently late since last month. Tenjiku once again recalls the MC telling her that he's warned her many times before. She gets worried and thinks that comment by Jimmy-sensei. I wonder if it means that there's something wrong with Hitomi. Suddenly someone says, "Tsukishita Hitomi?" We see that it's Amari. Amari tells Tenjiku that Hitomi is terrible and if Tenjiku could say something to her. Hearing this shocks Tenjiku. Amari continues and says that Hitomi never does her assignments and she sleeps most of the time in class. Sakaede also shares the same sentiment and says that he feels for Amari as it's the same with him. He continues and says that Hitomi has no motivation at all. Amari adds in and says that it's amazing that she's even attending classes at all. She's become strangely flamboyant lately. She came to school with a brand name bag the other day. Hearing this shocks Tenjiku. Amari continues and says that the brand is also super luxury brand, where 20,000 to 30,000 yen isn't enough at times. Akashi adds in and says, "It's not like Hitomi's parents are CEO or anything." He's pretty sure that Hitomi's house is a normal family. Amari replies and says, "I wonder how a high school student got their hands on that much." Sakaede asks if she's getting a part-time job without telling the school. He continues and says, "Unless you have a special case like Momo, you're not allowed to take a part-time job while studying here at Suizono." Tenjiku didn't know about this, so she looks surprised as she says, "That can't be." As they are talking about this, we see that the MC is done with his work. He immediately heads out of the staff room. Seeing him go, Tenjiku calls him and follows him. The MC turns around and asks her, "What is it?" As she looks concerned, she asks him if he thinks Hitomi might be having some troubles. She continues and says, "As you pointed out before, in addition to tardiness, I understood that my attitude towards classwork, such as submission, was not serious, but is there anything else?" With a straight face, he replies and says, "Why are you asking me that?" He turns around and says, "Class 1B, attendance number 14, Tsukishita Hitomi, is a student from your class, Tenjiku-sensei." As he says this, we see her standing right behind him and hearing them talk. Now, in the garden of the school, we see Nagisa recalling Hitomi, asking her, why is she hanging out with Tsubaki? As Nagisa looks troubled while recalling this, she tries to tell herself something, but suddenly someone calls her. We see that it's Erika. Erika looks concerned as she asks Nagisa if she's okay, and that she looks like she's been under the weather lately. Seeing Erika surprises her. Erika continues and says that Akashi-sensei was worried about her. He said that she hasn't been coming to club activities at all since the summer. Erika asks her if she's worried about Tsubaki all this time. Nagisa tries to say something, but Erika interrupts and says, "I'm sure you're not." Hearing this scares and shocks Nagisa. Erika just looks at Nagisa's terrified face and smiles. Erika continues and tells her that she never was actually interested in Tsubaki. Now back to the MC and Tenjiku. Hitomi looks at them and says, "Aoi-chan sensei and Jimmy sensei?" Suddenly she puts on a big smile. Hitomi suddenly screams and apologizes to Tenjiku for being late again. She says that she's been sick a lot in the mornings lately and once again apologizes. Hearing this worries Tenjiku. Tenjiku gets concerned and asks her if she's fine now. Hitomi starts crying and says, "That's right, I'm sorry to have worried you." Tenjiku suddenly gets tense as she was about to say that if she's okay now, it's all good. She suddenly notices a brand name bag, which Hitomi is carrying, and remembers the other teachers saying, "She came to school with a brand name bag the other day." Tenjiku gets more nervous and tries to ask Hitomi about the bag, but suddenly Hitomi changes the topic and says that second period is about to start and bolts away from Tenjiku before she could ask her anything. The MC and Tenjiku look at her as she runs away. Now back in the staff room with the other teachers, we see someone saying that they think that they have an idea about the thing they were talking about before. We see that it's Amari. Someone asks her, "Is this thing about Hitomi?" Amari looks worried as she says, "Yeah, no matter what you say to her, she never actually listens." How can I put it? She's so good with words. She always manages to get away with it. As Amari recalls the cheerful Hitomi's face, she says that she found something while she was monitoring her SNS. As the teachers look at what Amari found, everyone looks absolutely stunned. As they look at a post, they say, "If this is her, it might be too much for Tenjiku-sensei to handle." Now we see what this post is. We see that it's Hitomi saying that she's looking for a papa with some rules attached to it. She says that she's looking for a papa to meet with this week's Saturday. And this is how this chapter ends. Hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you,